Fermentation, something that everyone here has done, and sometimes you may not notice or believe that it's a big deal, but it's actually really, really important. And we end up using it quite often, not just in what we eat and drink, but also whenever we exercise. And it's the creation of ATP without oxygen. So, fermentation is glycolysis and then a process that allows glycolysis to continue even though you don't have oxygen. That's the key here. You only do this when there's no oxygen, and the reason is it's very inefficient. So there's no use in doing this when you have oxygen. There's only a reason to do this when you don't have oxygen. You don't make any ATP during fermentation, but you make some during glycolysis, so they'll keep doing it. So if you have glycolysis and oxygen, you do cellular respiration. If you have glycolysis without oxygen, you do fermentation. And this is why you don't immediately die when you run out of oxygen. You have some time. So here is an example of fermentation in people. Okay, this is what we do when we work out. So fermentation, remember, it's all about resetting glycolysis and let it go again. So here we have glycolysis. You have glucose. You use you use two ATP. You get back four, so you net two ATP here, and then you also get two NAD pluses to become NADH. So you get some high energy electrons, and you have ATP here. And that's glycolysis, right? This is nothing new. You take glucose, you split it in half, and you get two pyruvates. What's going to end up happening is you're eventually going to run out of NAD plus. There's only so many NAD pluses that exist in your cells, and you will run out. If you run out of NAD plus and you have no way of processing pyruvate into anything, useful because there's no oxygen, then you like it's bad. So your body has a mechanism to prolong life to hopefully allow you to correct the problem. What your body does is it takes pyruvate and it converts pyruvate into lactic acid by giving back the two electrons using the NAD plus and that releasing the NAD plus to go ahead and do the glycolysis again. So you're literally resetting glycolysis by giving back the electrons you just grabbed. Now, lactic acid, for the most part, will sits in your muscles and does damage. When you get lactic acid out of your muscles and you get oxygen again, you will actually recreate pyruvate and allow it to do photosynthesis, cellular respiration with electron transport. So you'll do the Krebs and the electron transport and do it with oxygen and be fine, just like you saw in the last section. So let's say I'm working out, okay? Let's say I'm doing exercises, I'm doing push-ups, and I'm pushing and I'm pushing and I'm pushing, and I'm starting to feel the burn. I'm feeling the burning sensation in my muscles. Now, what that means is my muscles have localized anaerobic respiration. They have localized fermentation. They are unable to maintain the level of energy that I need to sustain life. So there's not enough oxygen, so it's producing lactic acid. If I keep producing lactic acid and I don't get oxygen, I'll eventually die. It's called lactic acidosis, and it hurts, and you die. It's no good. Now, uh, at the same time, if let's say I'm feeling the burn and I slow down and I go for a jog or something, and I allow that lactic acid to process, then I can reset pyruvate. I can then go ahead and process the pyruvate normally with oxygen, and I won't make any lactic acid in my muscles. When you feel the burn, you're feeling the burning of lactic acid. So when someone says, "Oh, if you don't feel the burn, you're not working out," that's not true. When you feel the burn, it's because you're working out faster than your muscles can handle. If you don't feel the burn, then you're not working out faster than your muscles can handle. Alcoholic fermentation, and yes, I do mean the alcohol that you're thinking of, is how beer, wine, and other spirits are made. Okay, again, it has to be without oxygen because these things are made by organisms, yeasts in particular, that can live and exist with and without oxygen. You take glucose, you make pyruvate, and again, you start to run out of NAD plus. You make your 2 ATP, you start to run out of NAD plus. So what they do is they give back the electrons and they make alcohol plus two carbon dioxides. And this frees up NAD plus to allow it to make NADH and produce the alcohol that is what's currently wanted. So fermentation is used to make yogurt, cheese, and bread, and it is very useful to humans in many ways. But that is working out, and that is chapter 4, section 6, and that's it for chapter 4.